Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Estate Lake Systems. This is the video we're going to show you how to tie it here. So if you're looking at this video, you've obviously brought one of these, right? Or you might be holding one of these. Now, if you are, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, right? Not only sort of like for business reasons, you know, I need to start clawing some of this back, but the fact that you might even be digging the sort of like scope of it all, you know? The sort of aspect of it. So if you have got one of these, man, much or ladies, much appreciated. Honestly, thank you very much. So this is what you get. Selling these are how much say? £8. £8 for one of these, and inside it, this is sort of like the starter kit, if you will. Inside it is that. All right, that's what you get. So you get your little wrap. I'll show you what's in there. Sure, you've all seen one of these before. Open it up carefully. So in here, you've got enough items in here to make 9 rigs, yeah? 9 rigs worth. So you've got the bait spikes and you've got the rings. Yeah? So you've got all of that. Get that one over. Then you've got the arms, yeah? The Viper arms. They're attached to the needle for transportation purposes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There you go, 9. Well packed by me. These are all hand packed, by the way, by myself, right? I have to do all of this. Right, so you get the arms, the rings, the bait spikes. You get the baiting needle. Parker little thing. Couldn't live without it. I know there's various other designs that are used for other things, but this is my go-to. It is bloody brilliant. I love it. So you get one of them as well, and you get your 9 beads. Yeah, so 9 rigs worth. Right, so that's what you get in the packet. Oh, this is recycled paper. See that? And recyclable again. Yeah. So pretty good for the environment there, right? Plus we're getting sort of like, you know, we've got the outer packet and the inner packet. Again, recycled as well. This is some sort of, I don't know, you might get a Chinese menu cut up, an Indian menu. I do apologise if you get like a picture of you know, Rogan Josh and you're down on the bank, you think, no. Right, so apologies, but these are all recycled. That all goes in there. And regarding that, right, if you was to buy all these from the tackle shop individually, you get me? Beads, baiting needle, spikes, rings, arms. That's what you'll sort of be faced with. Do you get me? So we're eradicating all of that and we're putting it all in the one sort of setup. Right, so that's that. So what you're initially, this is how to tie it. So what you're basically going for is this. Yeah, let me get a good look at it. Is that, all right? So that's the sort of setup you sort of need, you know what I mean? You need you can see where the bead is, you can see where the hook is, you see where the arm sits, the little ring in between, right, the bait and all that. Ooh, oh my God, look at it. Right, so anyway, before we get too jazzed up over that, let's get on to sort of tying that up. So I'm going to try and do them both at the same time if I can. Bit hard, I'm crouched on the floor here, do you get me? It's like a nightmare. Right, so first things first, this can work on a pop-up, a bottom bait on the river, bit of luncheon meat, maggots. You can pretty much, it's so versatile, it's unbelievable. Snowman rig, you know, it's all there. You don't have to pretty much change anything apart from the hook link. Right, so what you don't get in the packet is the hook link and the hooks, all right? Let's move that away. Obviously I couldn't supply the hook link, the hook link and all that, because quite frankly I don't know what you're going to use, you know what I mean? How am I meant to do that? And I couldn't supply the hooks for financial reasons. Who could sort of, you know what I mean? I would have sort of needed 1,000,000 hooks, all sizes, do you know what I mean? Nightmare. So you've got to source your hooks and your hook link. Now the hook links, I've been mucking about with a few of them. Do you know what I mean? You can use pretty much whatever you want, right? The stiff rig filament, I've had a lot of problems with tying the knot regarding it don't seem to sit right once the knot's tied. It seems to want to open up, you know? It's not sort of like locked in place. It does kink very easily, even after steaming. Once you tied the knot, it's sort of like a gamble really to see if it's straight or not, and you do need it straight. So I've tended to stay away from that one. Very thick, very sort of bristly, you know. So there's this one here I like. I've been using this one. Again, I'm not biased to anyone. It's just what I want to use, right? It's still a stiffer sort of filament, but it has got that give. Look, do you know what I mean? It's quite nice, man. Supple. It's a nice little number, that. And for the bottom bait, for a bottom bait rig where you do need a hinge on it, I like this stuff here. It's pretty cool. Again, I'm not biased to anyone, or I just went down to the tackle shop, and you need something with a bit of sort of like a bit of stiffness on the outer coating. It really does help. More supple. Like I had some old sort of like snakeskin and all that, and it just weren't good enough. This seems to be quite on the mark, yeah. So I'll get into that later. So they're the things. Right, so first things first, what you want to be doing is tying your first loop. All right, now this is your bait. This is pretty much your basic like a bait loop, if you will, like a bait stop loop, or like a, I don't know, like a hair loop at the end of the hair. Do you know what I mean? But you can see that is kinked off, yeah. That's that black stuff I just said. All right, you can see how it's kinked off, yeah, and you can see how the knot's sort of opening up on itself. If you can see that. See it? Not too cool, eh? So the general principle behind this is where the Viper rig is not relying on being tied to the line anymore. That's where we've sort of gone down the wrong track. You obviously need strength in the rig, right? So the obvious reason, or the obvious answer, is to tie the hook to the line. Simple. I agree. But that is where we've been going a little bit wrong, I think, yeah? Because once you tie the two elements together, they ain't rotating enough. Do you know what I mean? Like the hook's not being able to rotate enough. If you look at the other videos, my rig videos, yeah, where I sort of explain that, I use all the shop brought ones, you'll see what I mean, yeah? Right, so this is for the pop-up rig, yeah? So I don't trust that, right? Because, reason I don't trust that, when you've caught your fish and you've hooked it, right, obviously there's no knot, it ain't tied to the line, so it's going to be weak, yeah? So the principle is, if you can imagine this hook's got all the arm on it and all the rest of it, and the bait's attached and everything like that, yeah? So the carp comes along, gets nicked, right? It pulls it, it hits the knot, and that is now your strong point, yeah? Technically, your knot's sort of like come into play when you needed it. Does that make sense? Like, you don't have to be tied down here all the time. Do you get me? Comes up there, now you can play the fish, yeah? But the knot, like if I was to pull that, I reckon that'd slip out a little bit. Maybe you could try a figure of 8 or a knot that I'm unaware of. I ain't too clever with knots, if I'm going to be honest. But maybe there is a knot out there that you can do that with, right? But if there ain't, what I've done, whilst I was sort of looking for ideas and whatever, I came across these bait spikes. See that? It's like a metal spike with a ring on it. Same sort of principle as a screw. You know the bait screws they got now? This is a bit bent up. I've had the pliers on this one. But you can see what the crack is. It's a bait spike. If you've got a bit of luncheon meat, bit of cool, you just ram it in there, look. Sort of job done, do you know what I mean? Well, cool. I don't like the idea of them bait screws. I think with a bait screw, you ask any builder, where this is sort of made out of floury substance, you put a screw in it and you start over rotating it, overturning it, you're going to be sort of like boring out the inside. You're not going to get a strong hold. Do you know what I mean? Plus, I found that the bait screw sticks right out, sticks about 5 mil out. With this thing, you can muck about with it and you can really push that knot right in, do you get me? Like almost invisible sort of thing. So, yeah, maybe give it a go sort of thing. They're in the packet. They're in 2 sizes, large and a small. And I think it's just going to stop any worry of the knot coming undone once you're in battle. Do you get me? So that's pretty cool. On the bottom bait, this gear here, don't sort of have that problem. See that? Like the knot ain't coming undone. And if you was to, where's that hook gone? Again, envision the bait and all the rest of it on there, the arm and all of it. Yeah, that ain't gonna slip nowhere. You get me? Maybe use a figure of 8, a stronger knot or whatever, but that, with this sort of like braided stuff, this coated braid, that ain't gonna slip, I don't reckon. But you don't have to use this loop knot. You don't have to use any knot if you don't want to. Again, I've used a little spike on this with the bottom bait gear. Yeah. So that's your first sort of port of call. You've got to make your bait secure on your line. How you do it, you know, that's pretty much up to you. You can use a ring, you can use a spike, use whatever you want, an old knot. But you got to trust in that, right? You've got to have full faith in that gear. Right, so once we've done that, what one's this? This is the pop-up one, right? That's the pop-up one there. Right, now this tail is vital, right? When you put your bait on and your rigs all together, you'll notice that there's no tail stuck out the bottom of the bait. See that? Like it's well clear. And now I've done that, which is quite a good way to do it. You get your bait. Yeah, let's do it on this one. You get your bait. This is a bottom bait one. And simply put the bait on first, bring it over, and then pull it through. Pull it through so you just can't see the thing no more. There, see that? Done? Right, there, that. Pucker. Yeah? That's sort of what you want to achieve. That's your first go. That's your first port of call right there. Get the bait on there with no tail. Now, I appreciate you're going to have to tie a sort of like what I do. I caught a few fish where I kept the rig on, the bait had gone. Quite easy. Before I put the bait on, I just sort of gnawed away a little hole around here, yeah, and slid the tail in, like a little bit. I cut the tail a little bit shorter and just kinked it in, and then just pushed it back all in, using the needle, pushed it right in there. Do you know what I mean? I made sure. But if you're starting off, you're on the bank, you're tying a rig, put your bait on first, all right? So, there's your bait. Now you get the arms. Where's the arms gone? So there's the arm, right? That's the Viper arm. That's what it's all about, really. And I'll show you that close up. Yeah, see that? It's a bit of a shadow. So you've got a wide bit, and if you turn it, you've got like a bead, yeah? So the wide hole's attached to the bead at 90 degrees off it, right? You obviously put the bead over the point of the hook slider down, and your main line, or your hook link, goes in this wide bit here. Now the reason why it's that wide is when the fish takes the hook and it's just sort of nicked it a little bit, yeah, you know, it can spit the bait out pretty quickly, yeah. Well, this gives it a little bit of room to move with. Do you know what I mean? So it won't be able to sort of like, hopefully won't be able to eject the hook too much. Do you know what I mean? It will move up, in and out before it was all rigid. It had sort of like an anchor point to shake it off. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Right, so it can move in and out, yeah, and left and right a little bit. See that? Right, and also with no knot, it goes up and down the line when the bottom lip's trying to sort of like shake it free. So that's that right there, and it's quite easy to put onto the hook. Get rid of that. Where's the hook gone? Oh, before I go into that, the hooks you need. So we talked about the now the hooks, again, I haven't chosen anyone in particular here, right, but you cannot get these hooks on the market, right? I've had to bend these. These were the closest ones. See that degree there? See that 16 degree, right? You want that at about 45 now. In between 30 and 45, so you want it coming right out here. Yeah, look at that. See that? That's what you want now, right? That picture, that diagram hook, that will not rotate because the line will be kinked. It'll be going through and it won't be on a straight axis. You get me? With that, with the arm, it will be. You're sort of sitting pretty. So, pain in the butt, pain in the arse, I appreciate it, right? But again, I ain't got the money to make a million hooks. So you have to get a normal hook. One of choice. You can have long shank, you can have beaked, you can have straight point. You have to get 2 pairs of pliers. Yeah, believe me, honestly, I'm speaking the truth here. Right, start off with a hook that's got an outturned eye anyway. Like this is a choddy hook, yeah. So the eye's out sort of turned already, and it's just a case of bloody mucking about with it. Get a pair of pliers and bend her out. It's quite easy to do. I mean, look, I've bent that sort of 3 mil and done. There you go. See that? Sort of better. If I had more time and I weren't doing this, I could make up quite a few of them, you get me? So sadly, yes, you have to bend your own hook. I do apologise for that, but that's just the world we live in, man. Right, so we've got the bottom bait here going on, and we've got, let's put a bait on this, on the pop up as well. So again, same sort of principle. You could just poke that on there and muck about with the tail, but just kink that and pass it. Bollocks, see that? Right, that's not how you do that. That's not what you do. Knew that was going to happen. I've made the rig too short. Can't pull it, my hands are all slippery. Send pliers. No. That's better. Right, so you just get rid of that. Oh, it's done it a bloody again, hasn't it? Right, get the point, yeah? Bait in there, all right? Happy days. So you get your hook, your bent hook, you get your Viper arm, and you simply, little old there, look, nick it in there, pinch it through. Just same as putting on a normal bead, isn't it? Slide around, job done. Yeah. Now you got to make sure that when you look down it, it's all in line. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like you can't have it like that. That will not work. This has been designed to constrict that barb, the shank, perfectly. Right? It's not going to fall on you. Last thing you want to do is you cast out and it's fallen, rotated, you're a sitting duck then. But you see the way that's in it, yeah? Inside it. That's what you need to get. Right, so then, this is the bottom bait one. You put your eye, your big eye first, and your little eye. Slide it down to the hook. Look at that. Yeah, slide it down to the hook. No different than your pop up. This ain't a pop up, by the way. This is just a whatever I got. Bloody hell, look at that. That's sexy. Right, so whack them on there like that, yeah? So you got your pop up and your bottom bait one. Right, next thing to do is to get, you want your little rings now, yeah? Right, now these little rings are a must. If you don't have this ring and you put your bead on, you will be creating friction between the metal and the rubber and it won't rotate. There you go, one. So the metal sticks to the rubber. So if you don't have this ring now will stick to the rubber and the eye of the hook now will rotate on top of the metal, yes? Do you know what I mean? Vital you have that. That bloody hell, look, I'm hooked up already, look, cool. Sick, man. Get rid of that. Right, now your beads. So you get some beads in the packet. Obviously you get more than 2, you get 9. I've just been caning these up a little bit. Quite easy to do. But you've all done these before, I can tell you how to do this. So I'll just carry on. I can't see nothing. Oh, no. Right, that's it. I should have licked that really. I'll have to lick the other one. Yeah, look, that thing there just broke. Bloody, I pulled it too hard, didn't I? The pliers. It's the thing with these sort of things. I should have licked that. Rookie mistake. Guys, lick it right before you go on. You must know. You're probably laughing at me now, thinking you idiot. And you even licked it. Right. There. One bead attached to there. Yeah, so you got your bait, your arm, the eye, the ring. Whoa, important, that ring. And then your bead. Now you move your bead. If you've got a double snowman on, you can have it there, you get me. If you've got a little pop up on the top, you can adjust it. If you've got a 50mm bait, you can bring it right down. Even whilst you're fishing. You can't necessarily, look at that, that's where you want it, about there, yeah? Oh, mate. Yeah, getting that. Right, so that's sort of where you want that, right? So this is the bottom bait one. So now that's done. A bit tricky. You got to hold all this. You need some nails. Luckily I got that. So you want to just strip back past the bead. There you go. These things are a nightmare. You always have to. I often do it with my teeth. I can sort of chew it off. Do you know what I mean? Like a rat. There you go. You got it now. See that? I think you can get some special scissors that do this. Cool, making a mountain of this, and I should have done this one pre-prepared. There, see that? All right. So if you've got the time, you can take all that off or whatever. That's been rose up. So pull the bead down to where you want it. Yeah, so you strip back just past the bead. And you've left vital that from the bead to the bait is rigid. Absolutely vital. Don't want it all bent, because that needs to rotate on it. You get me? If that's all bent underwater, it will hinder it sort of like 10%, 20%, maybe 30. Do you know what I mean? You don't want, you know, hence why you don't want the tail coming out the bottom. It's going to hinder it. If you're using magnets as well, you've got to be careful. If you're using like a Medusa bait setup, be very careful that it don't stop that rotating. Worm, you know. So there, that's that. So now you get a bit of putty. I like using quite a bit of putty. I like pinning it down. Not pin it down so it's camouflaged on the lake bed or anything, but pin it down so when the carp takes it, it's got something to sort of like really sort of like chase after. There, job done. That is your bottom bait. So therefore that now can rotate at will any way it wants. I don't know if you can actually see that. I've got the camera upside down, you see. But that now will rotate any way given. Carp comes in, it's just going to bounce it. Look, absolutely stunning. Bollocks. No different. No different than the pop-up. But with the pop-up, you ain't got to muck about stripping it, you get me? Right, I'm going to lick this, right? So I'm going to take this out of shot now. I'm going to try and get this on here. Easier said than done that, getting it on this little loop. Right, so I just licked all that and I'm trying to put it down. Again, I don't trust these bloody, that's why I do like having a pair of pliers and that baiting needle. Sort of really pays dividends. You can muck about with things if it don't sort of like pay off. Right, so therefore that's on there. So I'm just going to slide that up to where I need it. Get rid of them. Oh bollocks! See that fell out. I think you only get one chance with these spikes. If you don't put it through and it locks first time. Again, same with them bait screws. You're ruining the hole. You know what I mean? You've only got one here. Right, so there, that's it. So you'd put like a. Oh, I've got a cramp somewhere. I'll do that. So with this, these cramps are brilliant things. I think I haven't lost the fish yet on them, but I haven't caught too many either, if I'm going to be honest. So I can't actually say for sure if they're really good or really whatever. You know what I mean? But to get a presentation, bloody brilliant things. Because when I found I used to tie these before these crimp things, the knot, I'd get that all perfectly straight. Do you know what I mean? I'd have it all nice and straight like that. And then I'd tie the knot. I'd be 4 inches away from where I wanted the knot in the first place. And it'd be all kinked up. It'd be bending it. It was awful. So these little things here, look. I can pull that right up. Again, pliers. Give it a squeeze, like a proper squeeze. You can get some proper ones of these, the plier things, but I ain't got them. and then cut off the look at that. Yeah, you get me. Now again, if you wanted to like change your bait, personally I'd change that bait. I wouldn't cast it out, it's going to come off. But check that out. Yeah, for a pop up. Imagine that being upright in the water. Can't really show you it like that. Yeah, like that. So there you go. Bottom bait and the pop up. I hope you got all that sort of thing. I hope it was all clear. Any questions, feel free to email me over or whatever. I'm going to the, yeah, so yeah, happy days, makes sense. I hope it does. I think I've covered it all. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously that would go on the bottom bait, end of the rig, wherever I wanted that as well. Right, guys, happy days, right? I hope you like that. Peace out. What else can I say? That's it, really, isn't it? Right, adios.